Hey everyone, so welcome to part 7 of this DevOps series. And today we are going to cover another important tool, which is Ansible. So here is what we are going to cover. We'll understand why we need configuration management tool, overview of Ansible, architecture of Ansible, and followed by, as always, a demo. Okay. So before we start, let me quickly start two of my Linux instances to save our time. Okay. Because for demo, I'll need two instances. So let me just quickly go ahead and launch these instances. And then we can quickly go over to the theory part. So I'll opt out for the older experience. Okay, let me pick. I'm more familiar with the older experience. Okay, yeah. So I'll go ahead, pick our Linux machine, T2 micro, configure instance detail. I need to launch two of the server. I'll explain why we need two. Okay. Yeah, I think that's it. Storage is enough. Let me just name it as Ansible demo. Okay, later I'll change it. Configure security go. So the connection which is established between the two systems. Okay, I'll explain like what do we mean by your Ansible server and host, etc. For now, we just need to enable port 22, which is for SSH connection. So let me take existing security group which I had enabled port 80, 22, 443, but 22 is also enough. Okay, so launch these two instances. Let me use my existing key. Yeah, yeah. So meanwhile, this is getting up. What we'll do is we'll quickly cover the theory for this session. Okay, just to ensure if I'm sharing everything. Yes. Okay. Yeah. So let's get started, guys, with the theory. And as I have always been telling throughout my session, that this is for beginners. Okay, we are not going to go in depth. Okay, Ansible is vast topic in itself, but to get you started, I am going to explain you basics things here. Okay, once we'll go in our advanced session, then we'll be picking each topic and we'll go in depth. Okay, so this we covered. Okay, so why do we need configuration management tool? So if there are like a lot of servers, maintaining those server or provisioning those server, it could be really time consuming. Also, without automation, if we go ahead and update those servers which have different operating systems, it is error prone because a manual intervention is involved. So for always things which requires repetition or basic command you want to learn, like as a human, what would you do? You log into those machine, either you'll install some software, you'll update some software, or you'll do some configuration. Okay, so instead of doing all that thing manually, we use configuration management tool which helps you to perform those IT tasks. Okay, so some of the configuration management tools which you've heard are present in market are Chef, Puppet, and Ansible. Okay, but eventually Ansible is gaining a popularity. It's open source. The enterprise version of Ansible is also present, which is kind of UI, and its name is Ansible Tower. So I have not worked on Ansible Tower. Yeah. Now, why we are moving towards Ansible? First, it's agentless. So what exactly we mean by agentless is in case of like other tools, Chef, Puppet, etc. See, if this is your main server which has the say Chef, okay, and the machine which we need to control through this Chef server, they also need to have agent, okay, installed in it. But in case of Ansible, whatever changes you have to do, you have to do it, I mean, all the whatever installation you have to do it, you have to do it only on this machine which has got Ansible server. So hence you see this advantage, it's agentless. Okay. Second is the language. Okay. Which it uses is YAML, and it's very simple, it's like simple key pair, so you don't need any training to understand YAML. Okay. And if somebody creates a YAML file, the other person just by reading it could make out what all is happening in the script, like, okay. But for other tools like Chef and Puppet, you need to learn different programming language like Ruby. Yeah. Third advantage is push approach. So whenever you want to make any changes to the host machine, what you do, you make the changes only onto the server, and these changes are then pushed to those host machines or the nodes which are connected to this machine. Okay. And this is also used in deployment automation tool. Yeah. Okay. Now let's go to the architecture. Okay, so when we talk about the architecture, Ansible consists of following component. So if I have to draw it for you and explain, so there is something called as engine. Okay, all these details you can find in Ansible's official document. So imagine this to be an Ansible. Okay, so this consists of following things: plugin, okay, inventory, yeah, and modules. So what exactly are these three components? So modules are your libraries, okay, so that accept parameters that describes the desired state of the system. So if I have to explain it in simple language, for example, you want to install certain thing onto the node. Okay, so node are the machines which are connected to Ansible servers, or node are those machine where we have to do the update. Okay, be it configuration or infrastructure related update. Okay, so to install anything on that node, the module which you can use is yum. Okay, and after that you tell, okay, you specify the name of the package, and then you just mention, okay, what should be the state, should it be present? So when you say present, that means you have to install that. Okay, when you say latest, that means you have to update it. Yeah. So one thing is your module. Okay, another is plugin. Okay, so when we say plugin, the module is run on your host machines. Okay, they are run on your host machines. But plugin, these are the commands or extensions which are run on your server. Okay, where Ansible is installed. Okay, so they are used for connecting your Ansible server with the host. Okay, yeah, or it they are used to output the logs, etc. Yeah, so remember, modules is something which is run onto the node or the host machine, and plugins are the commands or the options or extensions which are run onto the server. Okay. Inventory, so they represents the machine it manages in a file. Yeah, so for example, for your application you've got backend or database servers, right? So you can specify using this format. Okay, so you can say, okay, this is my web server. Yeah, and specify the IP address. Okay, what would be the IP? This would contains the IP address of these host machines. Okay, yeah. So when I'll come later in the session wherein I'll be executing some of the commands and showing you, you will understand what exactly we mean by inventory. Okay, and then finally playbook. Okay, so what exactly we mean by playbook? So with module you can run just single task, but if you want to run multiple tasks or list of tasks, so what you do, you create a playbook. Okay, so when you run that playbook, all the tasks are run in a sequential manner. There are other things as well to this architecture, like something which we call it as CMDB. I mean, kind of a database which maintains or which contains the current state of this host. So whenever you are running any command using module or playbook, first the DB, okay, excuse me for my drawing, okay, but imagine there is a DB, okay, so this would contain the state of your host machine, okay, and when you want to try and run a new command through ad hoc command modules or playbook, so it would check if there is a delta between what you want to run and what is the current state, okay. So how does it gets the current state? Using gathering fact, there's this option which gathers those fact for of the machines of the host, and then you compare. So if there would be a delta, then that command would be run. If there's no delta, so there won't be any changes done. So you'll see, like when you run anything using modules or playbook, etc., so you'll see this changed 0 or 1. So like whatever thing you were running, whatever command you were running, if it caused any change, okay, so it would show you as changed equal to the number of change was done. Yeah. So this is it about the architecture of the Ansible. Okay. So if I have to recap on the architecture to simplify, so you will have something called as your engine, right? So this engine would have your modules. Okay. This is engine. This would have modules. This would have your inventory, okay, the plugins and what do you say, APIs, okay, yeah, and inventory would contain list of host machine, okay, where the update needs to be done. And all this thing like playbook etc, it is written in the form of simple uh, language which is YAML, okay. And then how do you find out if there is a delta, okay, so there is this DB CMDB, it contains the current state of your host machine, okay, yeah. So and then you have like users, so users are us, okay, you can, so like okay, how does these command are executed, or how is the connection established between server and host? It is through SSH, okay. So now if you want to do SSH, you want to do it using a root login, or you want to create a new user and give it a just required privileges, yeah? So all these things are managed through your user, yeah. Tell you the steps what we'll do. We'll download a package on the machine which we want to make it as a control server or the main server, okay. On that we'll install Ansible, and then later on we have to do some changes with respect to user creation. We'll create a user because through root user you don't want to do those SSH. Remember how does Ansible server communicates with the nodes? It's through SSH, okay. So when you're connecting through SSH, uh, instead of doing all those through root user, we'll do it through what do you say, a different user, but it would have privileges that of a root or a super user, super doer, okay. Yep. And then why do we need to generate key, okay, so this is to avoid asking system a password. So if we don't do this step, what will happen? Whenever you want to connect to the node machine, you need to enter password, okay. So for that we'll have this key, yeah. So let's move to the just a second guys. What I'm doing is I am just going to my AWS management control and just checking what is the status of the two machines which I had just installed, okay. Yeah, so let me name one as demo server, okay, and the okay, or control server or control machine. server, and this is my host machine. Okay, so let me connect to both of these. How am I going to connect? Through putty. Okay. um mhm. let me just open the two instances of putty. Okay. uh okay, so I need to first connect to my, we'll do one by one. Okay, first we'll connect to our main server, okay, where we need to install our Ansible. Okay, and through which user we are logging, EC2 user, and the file which we need is this, browse. So all this I've covered in the previous session as well, right? So now where am I connected to? I am on my control server. Okay, so first thing what I need to do is first switch user. Okay, move to, whenever you want to install something, just move, convert yourself as a root user. Okay, so as I told you, I had to install a package, okay, which is a extra package for enterprise Linux. So I'll just install this, copy. Yeah, once this is done, what I'll do, I'll just update all the existing package. Yeah, now am install ansible dash y. Okay, that won't work. So I just need to copy paste this. Okay, meanwhile this is happening, what we'll do is we'll connect to our the node machine as well. Okay, and how do we distinguish between the two? Let me just change the color. Okay, that would help us to distinguish uh, which is our main server and which are the nodes on which we need to do the update. Okay, so yeah, this is my host, not road, I'm sorry, main machine or main server where Ansible is present. Okay, and let me just quickly log into my node. Okay, where the update needs to be done. Yeah, so how am I going to log in? EC2 user, then SSH, browse. Mhm. Okay, yes, now you can see both, I'm connected to both the servers. Okay, let me just reshare everything. I just want to be double sure that everything is shared with you all. Let me just share entire screen with you all. Yeah, okay, so this is my main server which has Ansible. Let's see if Ansible is dash dash version. So we have Ansible installed. Yes, okay, so this is the configuration file. Now what I'll do is, remember our slide. Now what we have to do, we have to create a user. So we'll create a user of same name in both the machine. Okay, so let's create add user careers talk. Okay, this is for setting the password for this user. Let me set same password as the username. That's okay. We're just practicing, so we don't want a best password. Yeah, right. So now let me switch to this user. Okay, similarly here what I do, first let me switch to root user, Once I've switched as root user, I'll create the username same as that what we have created in my my main machine. I'm calling host again and again. So it's a main server, okay, where Ansible install, and host is where we need to do the update. Okay. Why we are doing all these things, why we are creating a different user, because as you know, in production environment, you don't want to share your root credential with people. Okay, so password would be same. Okay, yes. Oh, careers talk, careers talk. Okay, yeah. Now what I need to do is, mm, I have to make update to the SSHD. Sorry guys, got a call. So now what I need to do is, once this is done, what I'll do is I'll go to sshd underscore config file. Okay, after I've created the user. Okay, so what I'll do, vi, and make certain changes. Like, so the changes, like, okay, when you want to log in from one machine to another machine through SSH, do you want password or not? Okay, so all those changes I need to do. So I'm just making that change in both the file. Oh, what am I doing? Okay, before that, let me quickly sorry guys, sorry, I'm just making a mistake. Sudo. Okay, so what does it says? It tells that okay, career stock is not in a source file, so I need to make that change. Okay, so how do I do that? Vi sudo. Okay, you might be hearing cracker sound because today it's the Shahra here, so bear with me for that. Now, what I need to do is I just need to make one entry here. So what we are saying is same as this. I'll just copy it and forward. Okay, let me delete this. I'll just type it for myself. So we are saying careers top can run all the command, okay, without password. Okay, yeah, that's one change I need to do. Okay. Oh, uh, syntax error. Set. What is the syntax error I have? Okay, wait, let me just force quit this. Exit. What I have to do is, that's good. We are getting this error, not a problem. Okay, what do you see? What am I missing, guys? This is what I'm missing here. I think this should allow me now. Yep. So see, nothing is hard. If you see any problem, don't get panic. Okay, just read the errors and you'll be able to figure out what's wrong. Else, you always have like forums where you can discuss the issues which you are getting. Okay, because it's not uh, necessary that you'll remember all the commands. Okay, you should just know the logic. Okay, that's important. Yeah, so what we have done, we have created a user. Okay, so onto the main server I installed Ansible, and then on to both the machine, your master and the node, what I did, I created a user. Okay, and added that user to a sudo file, vi sudo file, which would ensure that your this new user has privileges that of a super doer. Okay, so let me do same thing here. Okay, it also says okay. So I'll do vi sudo, not a problem. Go here. Okay. Hmm. Again, best is you type it yourself. Careers talk. All. Okay. uh, Okay. And then no password. Okay. That's done. Yeah. Now another thing which we have to do is we have to edit the um SSD config file. Okay. I'll show you what exactly you need to update in this file. Okay. CD etc. Okay, CD SSH. Now VI SHD config. Okay, what I need to do is I just need to say permit root login. Okay, and another thing which I had to do was comment this out and say yes. Okay, same thing I need to do in my node. Okay, so what I'll do CD etc CD SSH and VISHD. Also tell me guys, whenever we make this the changes to the SSD config, what we need to do? We need to restart this service. Okay, so permit root login, yes, and password authentication is required, yes, which says like, okay, when you are doing a SSH, you need to provide the password. Okay, so what I'll do, I'll just restart this service SSD in both my machines. Okay, service SSHD restart. Okay, awesome. Right now, let me switch to my careers talk. Okay, and let me see if I can SSH to the node machines. Okay, so let me just figure out the private IP address. IF config was the command, right? Yes, so what is the private IP address? It's this. Okay, yeah. This is my private IP address. Copy. Okay, just let me do 172.31.38. So this has nothing to do with like Ansible. We've not started using the Ansible command. I'm just checking now if I'm able to do SSH from my main server to the node machine. Okay, because Ansible also uses SSH to connect. So yes, so we are able to connect to our um, node machine. See, 172.31.44, 178. That was for your control server's IP address. Okay, and where have we entered? We are inside the node machine. Okay, so let me stop. Yep. Okay. Let me just create a file. Say touch my text txt. Okay. If you go here, no. Let me just first switch to careers talk and ls. See, so you are logged into your node machine. Okay, and when you are creating a file, you can see it in the node machine. Okay, so this is good. Now you will see that whenever we want to do anything, we want to connect to your node machine, every time you have to add the password. So you can avoid this step by doing one an additional step, which is like generating the keys. uh, right, using this SSH keychain. Yeah, enter, enter, enter. Okay, let me do ls. Oh no, cd dot ssh ls. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll copy this public. So this is private key and this is public key. So what I'll do, I'll put the public key onto the node machine. Okay, now how do you do that? SSH copy ID and the machine, which is like 172.31 dot, what was it? Yeah, 38 and 236. Yes. Okay, now careers top. Yeah, so if now I want to connect to the node machine, let's see if it asks me a password. Let me do same thing here as well. Okay, so why? Because we are setting a relationship between both the two. Okay, now yeah. Okay, this step is not required, we already have a key. Now let's see, SSH 172.31.38.236. See, this time it didn't ask you for the password. So let me quickly go on to our slide and recap what all we did. Okay, so what we did on to understand, see, anything which needs to be done on the both machine, I've mentioned it. Okay, so download EPL, which is extra package for enterprise Linux. So I've downloaded this on master machine, and once that was downloaded, I installed Ansible. I checked whether Ansible is installed or not using Ansible dash dash version. Okay, once that was done, what I did, simply created users, okay, which had a super duer access. Okay, or you can say super user. Okay, privileges. So for that, what we had to do, we had to make some changes in vi sudo file. Also for SSH, while doing a SSH connection, if you want that the password should be authenticated, users should be asked for the password. So for that, what do you do is you make certain entries into the SSHD config file. Once that entry is done, you have to restart that server. Yeah, so after that we were able to connect to the node machine using SSH. But what problem we saw was, every time we wanted to connect, we had to add the password. Okay, so to avoid that step, what we did is we generated a key and we placed the public key onto the node machine. Yeah, so now we were able to make the SSH connection with the nodes without using the password. Okay, now coming to how you can do those configurations onto the host machines which are connected to your what do you say, uh, master server, right? So there are three ways: ad hoc command, which are like your simple Linux command. Second is if you want to use inbuilt library, which are modules. And third is finally playbook, wherein you can run multiple modules in the form of a task. Okay, so let's go ahead and run some ad hoc command. Okay, so if you are on to the this is your master, and say this is your node. Okay, now if I do Ansible, first let me see if I'm able to ping to this machine or not. Demo is the, okay, sorry, this step I did, but come on. Okay, if you remember, when we did Ansible dash dash version, okay, sorry, let me, why we are not able to see anything for Ansible dash dash version? Because right now I am on to my what do you say, I'm connected to my node. Yeah, so I just have to exit from here. Yeah, now see the IP address has changed. This is, now I'm on to my main server. Okay, so if I do careers, sorry, if I do vi etc, one small change we have to make. What is that? We need to add the entry of this server in the host file. Okay, mm, demo and IP address is 172.31.38.236. Okay, this is the first change I need. Oh, what happened? Oh, sudo. Okay, so demo. Come on, Jyoti. Demo. Okay, and then make the entry for the node machine 38.236. Okay, set. Awesome. And then just uncomment the path of inventory in the configuration file. So which is Ansible config. Here this has been commented. So let me uncomment it. Okay, we are good to go. Now let's see if I'm able to connect to this machine or not. So Ansible demo. See, for example, under the demo, we had entered 10 servers and you want to make update to the fifth server. So the first index starts from like 0. So if you want to make update to the fifth server, you will say 5. Sorry, 4. Okay. Or if you want to make changes to just last server. So this is how you'll do it. If you want to do it for range of servers, okay, so this would include server from second until fifth. Yeah, and if you don't specify anything like this, it means to all. Okay, and dash a is attribute. Okay, so let's see, am I able to ping fail to convey permission denied? This is interesting. Okay, why are we not able to connect? Fail to connect to the host by SSH, permanently added to the list of known, permission denied. Hmm. Okay, never mind. Let me check. Let me check. Let me check. What's wrong here? Let me check. What is it that I'm missing? Okay, it's good we are getting this error. There is no problem. We'll figure it out. Okay, what is it that we are missing? Do I need to specify the username and password in any file here? Okay, as per this, I need to. I did copy it. Okay. Okay, let me see. Okay, maybe there is something wrong with the host file. Okay, so what will I do? I'll go back to the host file. Ansible. etc. Ansible host. Okay, let's see what is the issue here. Okay, let me do one thing. Instead of creating this, let me use any existing DB servers. Okay, and here I'll mention the private IP address. Okay, so what was the private IP address? 172.31.38 and 236. Okay, 236. Skip. Public queue. Okay, skip. What happened? Oh God. Just a second. Enter. Okay. Sudo is what we were missing. Hmm. This is interesting. Okay. Yep. Looks like here I'm making some mistake. Mhm, 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 mhm. Okay. Let's do it this way. Okay. Let me see if I'm able to run any Ansible command. A touch file one.txt. No, we are still not able to connect. Okay. Okay, that's good. Permission denied. What is it that we must be missing? Let me just refer to my note. I did all these things. I made the changes. I have restarted. I've copied stuff. Okay. This was also done, right? So what is it that is missing? I think I'm doing something wrong with the entry which I'm making for the inventory. Okay, so let me do one thing. Let me just use any of the existing only, right? So yeah, okay, and here I'll go ahead and enter the IP address of my node machine. Okay, so which is 172.31.38.236. Okay, yeah. So let's see if this works. Okay, yes, it did. So looks like, oh, not, oh, come on, it didn't work. Actually, the name is not a demo. It's something else. What was the name? Web servers. Okay, I have to do web servers here. Web servers. Okay. Okay. Let's see. The way it was suggesting. Let me again go to the host file. Okay. And let me specify things which it was mentioned, which is Ansible user and Ansible colon vars. And let me specify Ansible user equal to career stock, Ansible password equal to career stock. I think this is what it was mentioned here on this page. Somewhere I saw this mentioned. Okay, Ansible, Ansible. What was mentioned here? Just a second. Mm-hmm. Okay. Pass. It's not password. It's pass. Okay, that's fine. Let's see if this works this time. I am sure I'm making some issues with respect to syntax only in this. Yes, I've done same thing in past. Okay, so let's see if this works. Mm-hmm. Okay, okay. Okay, guys, so I did the troubleshooting and I found out that the key generation part, I think I had done that incorrectly. So I regenerated the key again, and after that, I was able to connect to my node machine using, I mean, I was able to ping my node machine using Ansible command. Okay, so I can show in the history what exactly I did. Okay, if you see, I did this step of key generation again. Okay, so it looks like when I had SSH to check the connection, so the key which I generated, that I had generated in the node machine rather generating it in the master server. Okay, so that was one thing which I had mm, missed. Okay, now let's get started with our Ansible command. So first we'll go for the ad hoc. Okay, so let me just quickly show you. See, you see this IP address 172.30.144.178, that corresponds to your master node. Okay, and for your host, the IP address is 172.31.238. Let me just move out from this. Okay, now if I do ls, what do you see? Okay, nothing, right? Now what I'll do is, let me just first find present working directory, which is home career stock. So here what is, let me switch to career career stock. Okay, and okay, awesome, right? So if I do ls, what do you see? My text.txt. Okay, now just check this web. So was, this is the name of our inventory, a, okay, which is like attribute. Now I say touch file 1, file 2, file 3. Okay, right? So you see there are certain changes. Let me do ls here. What do you see? File 1, file 2, file 3. So how did this get created? Okay, so I made changes on my host, and sorry, I am calling host again and again. So I made changes on my master server, which had Ansible installed under inventory file or under host file. I had mentioned the private IP address of my node machine. Okay, so whatever changes I am doing on my master, it is getting reflected onto my node machine. So now you understand, right? Now it doesn't depend how many servers you have on which you may need to make update. It's just that you have to add those details in the host file, okay, or in the inventory file of master server, and that's it. Okay, so one, see this, these are like simple your Linux command, which we call it as ad hoc command. It's not advisable to use ad hoc command to perform these configuration or provisioning. You could use these command for doing small activities like starting or restarting the server. So let's understand our next step, which is like module. Yeah, which is like your inbuilt libraries in Ansible, which helps you to perform certain action. So for example, let's go ahead and create a user. Okay, uh, or no, not create a user. What we can do is, okay, let me create files only. Okay, so mod, you can always search. Okay, module, Ansible module for files. Okay, file module, we'll go to document. Okay, so for example, if I want to copy a file, okay, let's see the command, the parameters I need to pass. Okay, so all these they are doing through what do you say, playbook, but we'll do it through our what do you say, modules. Okay, and the module would be this is copy module. If I want to copy, okay, so the command would look something like Ansible. Oh, what's happening, guys? Yeah, I think this is what I've done. I've done something weird. Clear. Okay. So now module is M. Okay. And I want to copy a file. So when you say copy file, you need to provide source, okay, and destination. Okay. So for that, first let me create a file here. So touch my file to .txt. Okay. Let me do ls. You see this file. Now the file which I've created on my machine, okay, master, I'm going to copy it on my node machine using module. So Ansible dash, let me, servers and copy. Okay. Now src is this, which is my file to .txt, and destination is for example under temp file I want to place this. Okay. To .txt. Let's see if this works. Unrecognized. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. I can always look into, okay, sample Ansible module for copying a file. Okay, how do I copy module in Ansible? What are the attributes? Okay, yeah, I think I got it. You need to specify, see, dash n specifies module and then the attribute. Okay. Yeah, so you see the see, oh god, what is it that I have copied, man? Okay, so let's go to the node machine. Yeah, and see if this my txt2 dot my text2 dot txt got copied to my temp file or not. Okay, so so I'll do ls. Okay, cd tmp ls c. Okay, so using the copy module, I was able to copy the file from my master server to my node machine. Okay, should I try any other? Okay, let's try install something from master to my node machine. Okay, so see, do you see tree command here? No. Okay, so we'll install that. So tell me what would be our command. It would be Ansible web servers m is module would be yum, and package, see, every time I'm forgetting this, uh package would be tree. Okay, and state. Okay, so here state, present means install, absent means remove, and latest means update. Okay, so I want to say present. Let's see, guys. Why it didn't get copy? You need to perform. What happened? This is interesting. Why was I not able to do this? Okay. Oh, that must have got copied. My file .txt. You need to be root to perform this command. Interesting. Why is it so? Am I in my host machine? So actually what's happening is somehow I've copied certain command, and every time I'm pressing up key, those commands are getting copied. Okay, so never mind, you've understood, right? So how module works in Ansible. Now the last topic is Ansible Playbook. I thought I'll cover that part in today's session only, but it took some while in resolving that issue which I faced. So probably the Ansible playbook, I'll take a separate session. Okay. So let me recap what all we did today quickly. Okay. So let me just quickly go through our PPT. Yeah. But guys, you all would have understood, right? You don't have to mug up anything, learn anything. You'll face challenges, right? So you just have to troubleshoot, figure out, think quietly. Yeah. Yeah. So we understood like why do we need configuration management to again to automate the IT tasks to manage large number of remote servers. And in case of Ansible, we call those remote servers as our host machines, okay, which is maintained under inventory. Uh, yeah, and then by Ansible, it's agentless. It's just based on push approach, okay, and we can make the changes using YAML. Yeah. So in case of architecture, the things which we have to remember is CMDB, which contains the existing configuration of the node. So whenever you make any changes using ad hoc command modules or playbook, so first it is checked with existing configuration which is there in CMD to see if there is any delta. Okay, in case of a delta, the change is made. Yeah, and then we did the installation. So for installation into the master node, these were the two things I did. So this is just specific to the master node, which is installing EPL and installing Ansible. Once that's done, I created a separate user because I didn't want to do everything through root user. Now to give that user a special privileges, we had to make some update in vi sudo file. Okay, that's one thing. And then since we are doing the connection which happens from master and the node machine is through SSH, for that we need to do certain changes, right? And we also saw that, okay, once the changes were done, every time we were connecting to the node machine, it was asking for the password. So we went ahead and we generated the key and we copied the public key from the master node to the node machine. So this is the step where I got little stuck. And later on, what I did to resolve this issue is generated the key again. So looks like I'm just assuming I'll rewatch the video see to see if that was the case. So the key generation which I did on the node machine rather doing it on the master machine. So remember I did SSH to the node machine. So I never exited from the node machine, and all the steps which was supposed to be done on the master I did on the node machine. Okay, and after that we studied about two things: ad hoc command, which is like simple Linux command, wherein the key things to remember is dash a, which is like attribute, wherein you in the codes you write that command. Okay, with modules, so we just checked the yum module, the user module, and copy, okay, which help us to copy the file. And the parameters which you have to pass is dash m. Okay, third and last is playbook, so which is like you are running multiple modules, so you can consider module as single page. So if you have got multiple modules, um, so that you can create using playbooks. Okay, yeah. So the playbook part I'll cover in the next session. Okay. And then ideally in next session I had to start with Jenkins, but due to this I'll first give you an overview of Ansible playbook, and then we'll start with the theory part of Jenkins. Okay. So yeah, thank you everyone. See you in the next session. Bye.